我们要交通一下这个关于 AI ChatGPT 最近的发展啊。那这次的发展的话是发展的相当快啊。我想我们一起来进入一下。
Thrilled that you're here, and this energy is awesome.
这个是在昨天的时候11月6号
And welcome to San
发表
Francisco.
的内容。
San Francisco has been our home since day one. The city is important to us
Some
and the tech
ultimate.
industry in general. We're looking forward to continuing to grow
OpenAI
here.
的第一届的
So we've got some
Development Day
great stuff to announce today. But first, I'd like to take a minute to talk about some of the stuff that
在
we've
去
done
年到
over the
现在
past year.
我们发生了很多的
About a
事
year ago, November 30th, we shipped
2022年11
ChatGPT
月
as a low-key research
30 号
preview.
的时候，然
And
后
that
我们
went
这
pretty well.
次发表了ChatGPT
In March,
然
we
后
followed that
后
up
来
with the
又
launch of GPT-4,
3
still
月
the
份
most
又
capable model out in
ChatGPT-4
the world. And in the last few months,
然
we
后我们
launched
现在
voice
有
and
语
vision
音、视
capabilities
觉
so that ChatGPT can now see,
功能
hear,
听
and
到
speak.
然后说话，然后也
And more
可以
recently,
画图
there's a lot. You don't have to clap each time. And more recently, we launched DALL-E 3, the world's most advanced image model. You can use it, of course, inside of ChatGPT.
现在可以在
For our enterprise
ChatGPT 里面
customers,
做画了。
we launched ChatGPT Enterprise, which offers enterprise-grade security and privacy, higher speed GPT-4 access, longer
在
context
企业方
windows,
面的
a
话，我
lot
们
more.
也可以有很多的做法。
Today,
现在有
we've got about
200
2
万
million
的开发人
developers
员
building on our API for a wide
做
variety
这
of
个
use
API
cases, doing
的
amazing stuff.
这个用力，
Over 92%
然
of
后
Fortune 500
92%的
companies
世界500
building on our
强都
products.
使用这个产品，
And we have about
然后
100
有
million
1亿
weekly
人
active
口
users
是
now
活跃用
on
户，
ChatGPT.
80亿人口1/80啊。
And what's incredible on that is we got there entirely through word of mouth. People just find it useful and tell their friends. OpenAI is the most advanced and the most widely used AI platform in the world now. But numbers never tell the whole picture on something like this. What's really important is how people use the products, how people are using AI. And so I'd like to show you a quick video.
好，我们现在看看一
I
些
actually
案
wanted
例
to
啊。
write something to my dad in Tagalog. I want a non-romantic way to tell my parent that I love him. And I also want to tell him that he can rely on me, but in a way that still has the respect of like a child to parent relationship that you should have in Filipino culture and in Tagalog grammar. When it's translated in Tagalog, I love you very deeply and I will be with you no matter where the path leads.
I see some of the possibility. I was like, whoa, sometimes I'm not sure about some stuff. And I feel like asking ChatGPT, like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. So it kind of give it a more confidence.
The first thing that just blew my mind was it levels with you. Like, that's something that a lot of people struggle to do. It opened my mind to just what every creative could do if they just had a person helping them out who listens.
So this is to represent sickling hemoglobin.
And you built that with ChatGPT?
ChatGPT built it with me.
I started using it for daily activities like, hey, here's a picture of my fridge. Can you tell me what I'm missing? Because I'm going grocery shopping and I really need to do recipes that are following my vegan diet.
As soon as we got access to Code Interpreter, I was like, wow, this thing is awesome. It can build spreadsheets, it can do anything.
I discovered Chatty about 3 months ago on my 100th birthday. Chatty is very friendly, very patient, very knowledgeable, and very quick. It's been a wonderful thing.
I'm a 4.0 student, but I also have 4 children. When I started using ChatGPT, I realized I could ask ChatGPT that question, and not only does it give me an answer, but it gives me an explanation. Didn't need tutoring as much. It gave me a life back. It gave me time for my family and time for me.
I have chronic nerve pain on my whole left half of my body. I have nerve damage. I had like a brain surgery. And so I have like limited use of my left hand. Now you can just have like the integration of voice input. And then the newest one where you can have the back and forth dialogue, that's just like maximum best interface for me. It's here.
Over 35,000 stock traders can't be wrong.
Every Monday evening, I'm gonna send you my
这是很多的这个 OpenAI 那个 受到
So
帮
we
助。
love hearing the stories of
所以
how
这个
people are
技
using
术
the
啊是很
technology.
值
It's
得
really
我
why
们
we
来
do all
去
of
思
this.
考呢，怎么
Okay,
样去使
so
用。
now on to the new stuff, and we have got a lot. First, we're going to talk about a bunch of improvements we've made, and then we'll talk about where we're headed next.
我们今天来
Over the
看看
last
哈
year,
有哪些
we've spent
新
a
的
lot
东
of
西。
time talking to developers around the world. We've heard a lot of your feedback. It's really informed what we have to show you today. Today, we are launching a new model.
我们现在有
GPT-4 Turbo.
GPT Turbo， 对，就是 GPT， 就是它肯定是会一
GPT-4
直
Turbo
不
will
断
address
的成长
many。of the things that you all have asked for. So let's go through what's new. We've got 6 major things to talk
6
about.
个
for this
主要
part.
的项目，第一
Number
个
one,
是
context length.
长度，上下文
A
的
lot
长
of
度。
people have tasks that require a much longer context length. GPT-4 supported up to 8K, and in some cases up to 32K context length. But we know that isn't enough for many of you and what you want to do. GPT-4 Turbo supports up to 128,000 tokens of context.
长度差很多了，300
That's
页的
300
内容
pages。of a standard book, 16 times longer than our 8K context. And in addition to longer context length, you'll notice that the model is much more accurate over a long context. Number 2, more control. We've heard loud and clear that developers need more control over the model's responses and outputs. So we've addressed that in a number of
是
ways.
方法。
We have a new feature called JSON mode, which ensures that the model will respond with valid JSON. This has been a huge developer request. It'll make calling APIs much easier. The model is also much better at function calling. You can now call many functions at once. And it'll do better at following instructions in general. We're also introducing a new feature called reproducible outputs. So we've addressed that in a number of ways.
第一个呢，就是说加上了这个 JSON 的 mode 的话呢，它可以控制
This has been a
API，
huge developer request.
所以我们
It'll
使
make
用
calling
它的话
APIs much easier.
调用API 会快一
The
点。
model is also much better at function calling.
好，那这个的话是以前的 function calling 的话，以前是比如说 raise my window and turn the radio on， 现在的话是 raise my window and turn the radio on， 它其实是一样的，对不对？但是以前的动作就是先是透过那个 raise window 这个 function， 然后what about the radio， 那还要再来一次radio on。但现在的话，只要是 radio window 和 radio on 同时写，就可以同时做了。
You can now call many functions at once. And it'll do better at following instructions in general. We're also introducing a new feature called reproducible outputs. You can pass a seed parameter, and it'll make the model return consistent outputs. This, of course, gives you a higher degree of control over model behavior. This rolls out in beta today.
这个是控制哈，它的回答是类似的。
And in the coming weeks, we'll roll out a feature to let you view log probs in the API. All right, number 3, better world knowledge. You want these models to be able to access better knowledge about the world. So do we. So we're launching retrieval in the platform. You can bring knowledge from outside documents or databases into whatever you're building. We're also updating the knowledge cutoff. We are just as annoyed as all of you, probably more, that GPT-4's knowledge about the world ended in 2021. We will try to never let it get that out of date again. GPT-4 Turbo has knowledge about the world up to April of 2023, and we will continue to improve that over time.
只剩下半年的事情。
Number 4, new modalities. Surprising no one, DALL-E 3, GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, and the new text-to-speech model are all going into the API today.
We
have a handful of customers that have just started using DALL-E 3 to programmatically generate images and designs. Today, KOG is launching a campaign that lets its customers generate Diwali cards using DALL-E 3. And of course, our safety systems help developers protect their applications against misuse. Those tools are available in the API. GPT-4 Turbo can now accept images as inputs via the API. can generate captions, classifications, and analysis. For example, Be My Eyes uses this technology to help people who are blind or have low vision with their daily tasks like identifying products in front of them. And with our new text-to-speech model, you'll be able to generate incredibly natural-sounding audio from text in the API with 6 preset voices to choose from. I'll play an example.
Did you know that Alexander Graham Bell, the eminent inventor, was enchanted by the world of sounds? His ingenious mind led to the creation of the graphophone, which etched sounds onto wax, making voices whisper through time.
This is much more natural than anything else we've heard out there. Voice can make apps more natural to interact with and more accessible. It also unlocks a lot of use cases like language learning
语音
and
学
voice
习啊，语
assistance.
言学习这些都是快速。
Speaking of new modalities, we're also releasing the next version of our open source speech recognition model,
语
Whisper
音
v3 today.
辨识
It'll be coming soon to the API. It features improved
多种
performance
语言
across
的
many
这个
languages,
改
and we
进。
think you're really going to like it. Okay, number 5, customization. Fine-tuning has been working
定
really
制
well for GPT 3.5 since we launched it a few months ago. Starting today, we're going to expand that to the 16K version of the model.
I'm making this quick video because it has been 1 month since joining the Cashflow 101 system, and so what I wanted to
Also starting today, we're inviting active fine-tuning users to apply for the GPT-4 fine-tuning experimental access program.
微调的
The fine-tuning API is great for adapting our
微
models
调
to
的
achieve
API，
better performance in a wide variety of applications with a
只要
relatively
做
small
一
amount
点
of
修
data.
饰啊就可以了。
You may want a model to learn a completely new knowledge domain or to use a lot of proprietary data. So today we're launching a new program called Custom Models. With custom models, our researchers will work closely with a company to help them make a great custom model, especially for them and their use case using our tools. This includes modifying every step of the model training process, doing additional domain-specific pre-training, a custom RL post-training process tailored for a specific domain, and whatever else. We won't be able to do this with many companies to start. It'll take a lot of work, and in the interest of expectations, at least initially, it won't be cheap. But if you're excited to push things as far as they can currently go, please get in touch with us, and we think we can do something pretty great. Okay, and then number 6, higher rate limits. We're doubling the tokens per minute for all of our established GPT-4 customers so that it's easier to do more. And you'll be able to request changes to further rate limits and quotas directly in your API account settings. In addition to these rate limits, it's important to do everything we can do to make you successful building on our platform. So we're introducing Copyright Shield. Copyright Shield means that we will step in and defend our customers and pay the costs incurred if you face legal claims around copyright infringement, and this applies both to ChatGPT Enterprise and the API. And let me be clear, this is a good time to remind people, we do not train on data from the API or ChatGPT Enterprise ever. All right.
这个哈，我觉得应
There's
该要
actually
提
one
一
more.
下。
It's important to do
那现在就是说哈，这6大点呢一直在变
doing
动
additional
变化，
domain-specific pre-training, a custom RL
所
post-training
以
process
我们可
tailored
以
for a
自己
specific
制
domain,
定
and
定
whatever
义
else.
哈，然后去训练我
We
们
won't be able
的
to do this
GPT。
with many companies to start. It'll take a lot of work, and in the interest of expectations, at least initially, it won't be cheap. But if you're excited to push things as far as they can currently go, please get in touch with us, and we think
所
we
以这
can do
个只要
something pretty
制
great.
定的这个模
Okay,
组，
and then number 6,
快
higher rate limits.
还有
We're doubling the
rate
tokens per minute
这
for
个
all of our
是更
established
快
GPT.
速啊。这个除了制定以外哈，
But if you're excited to push things as far as they can currently go, please get in touch with us, and we think we can do
所
something
以
pretty
可
great.
以跟他们合作。
Okay, and then number 6, higher
更
rate
高
limits.
的这个
We're doubling the tokens per minute
速度
for
啊
all of our
效率，
established GPT-4 customers so that it's easier to do more. And you'll be able to
所
request
以可以
changes
在
to
那个
further rate
API 的
limits
设
and
置中
quotas
哈，可
directly
以
in your API account settings.
进一步的
In
设
addition
限
to these rate limits,
速率的
it's
限制。
important to do everything we can do
所以
to
在
make
我们的
it
平
you
台上要打
successful
造
building on our
新的
platform.
建筑，
So we're introducing Copyright
我
Shield.
们要做
Copyright Shield means that we will step in and
版
defend
权
our
护盾
customers and pay the costs incurred if you face legal claims around copyright infringement, And this applies both to ChatGPT Enterprise
对
and the API.
GPT 的 Enterprise 跟 API 都可以
And let me be clear,
那个
this is a
版权
good time to remind people, we do not train on data from the
这个哈，就是说，它不会使用来自 API 或Enterprise 的数据进行训练啊，所以 do not train on your data from the API 哦，所以它
API
不
or
会去做
ChatGPT
这个。
Enterprise ever.
那也就是说，所有的资讯是我们自己的。
There's actually one more developer request that's been even bigger than all of these. And so I'd like to talk about that now. And that's pricing. GPT-4 Turbo is the industry-leading model. It delivers a lot of improvements that we just covered, and it's a smarter model than GPT-4. I heard from developers that there are a lot of things that they want to build, but GPT-4 just costs too much. They've told us that if we could decrease the cost by 20, 25%, that would be great, a huge leap forward. I'm super excited to announce that we worked really hard on this, and GPT-4 Turbo, a better model, is considerably cheaper than GPT-4.
你是标准的叫做 equity rich， 但是 cash poor。那这样的 allocation
笑笑哈，我
到底对不对？
们
我现在跟大家特别提。
By a factor of 3x for prompt tokens.
这个 input token 的话是3倍，更便宜了，然后3倍。
And 2x for completion tokens starting today.
Output 的话是2倍，就是
So the new pricing is 1 cent per thousand prompt tokens and 3 cents per thousand completion tokens. For most customers, that will lead to a blended rate more than 2.75 times cheaper to use for GPT-4 Turbo than GPT-4. We worked super hard to make this happen. We hope you're as excited about it as we are. So we decided to prioritize price first because we had to choose one or the other, but we're going to work on speed next. We know that speed is important too. Soon, you will notice GPT-4 Turbo becoming a lot faster.
变得更快的反应了哈。
We're also decreasing the cost of
就
GPT
是
3.5
个
Turbo
input 的
16K.
话 ，token 才
Also, input
才
tokens
花
are 3x less,
0.003
and output tokens are 2x
，output 的
less,
话
which
是
means that
1000个是
GPT
0.000。
3.5 16K is now cheaper than the previous GPT 3.5 4K model. Running a fine-tuned GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K version is also cheaper than the old fine-tuned 4K version. Okay, so we just covered a lot.
所以刚才的话就是它的价格部分哈是便宜很多
Also cheaper than the old fine-tuned.
它这个是 GPT 3.5的 Turbo 的话，这个是微调4000的微调，那是3倍的减少价格了0.012跟0.016。那么4倍的 less 的话就是0.003跟0.006啊，这个是差距啊。就是它虽然增加了4倍，但是它的价格却少了更多。
4K version. Okay, so we just covered a lot about the model itself. We hope that these changes address your feedback. We're really excited to bring all of these improvements to everybody now. In all of this, we're lucky to have a partner who is instrumental in making it happen. So I'd like to bring on a special guest, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft.
那后面的话就是不同的单位来跟他们分享。
Thank you so much. Thank you.
对，就不需要看。
Satya, thanks so much for coming here.
It's fantastic to be here, and Sam, congrats. I mean,
我们这个
It
是
can now
跳过。
browse the web when it needs to, write and run code, analyze data, take and generate images, and much more.
党维的合作以外。
Okay, so we have shared a lot of great updates for developers already, and we got a lot more to come. But even though this is a developer conference, we can't resist making some improvements to ChatGPT. So a small one, ChatGPT now uses GPT-4 Turbo with all the latest improvements, including the latest knowledge cutoff, which will continue to update. That's all live today. It can now browse the web when it needs to, write and run code, analyze data, take and generate images, and much more. And we heard your feedback, that model picker, extremely annoying. That is gone, starting today. You will not have to click around the drop-down menu. All of this will just work together. ChatGPT, yeah. ChatGPT will just know what to use and when you need it. But that's not the main thing. And neither was price, actually, the main developer request. There was one that was even bigger than that. And I want to talk about where we're headed, and the main thing we're here to talk about today. So we believe that if you give people better tools, they will do amazing things. We know that people want AI that is smarter, more personal, more customizable, can do more on your behalf. Eventually, you'll just ask a computer for what you need, and it'll do all of these tasks for you. These capabilities are often talked in the AI field about as agents. The upsides of this are going to be tremendous. At OpenAI, we really believe that gradual iterative deployment is the best way to address the safety issues, the safety challenges with AI. We think it's especially important to move carefully towards this future of agents. It's going to require a lot of technical work and a lot of thoughtful consideration by society. So today, we're taking our first small step that moves us towards this future. We're thrilled to introduce GPTs.
GPTs 现在是定制版的，用于特殊的功能和目的。
You can build a GPT,
我们可以
a customized
做
version of
出圣经
ChatGPT
的
for almost
GPT，
anything, with instructions,
有
expanded
指
knowledge,
示
and
拓
actions,
展的这份
and then you
需
can
要，
publish it for others to use.
也可以给
And
很多人
because they
使用。
combine instructions, expanded knowledge, and
指令
actions,
啊、拓展知识
they
啊，
can be
还
more
有
helpful
行
to
动
you.。They can work better in many contexts, and they can give you better control. They'll make it easier for you to accomplish all sorts of tasks or just have more fun, and you'll be able to use them right within ChatGPT. You can, in effect, program a GPT
只
with
要
language,
语
just
言
by
对
talking
话
to
就
it.
可以进行编程
It's
了，
easy to customize the behavior so that it fits
自
what
行
you
定
want.
义啊，
This makes building them very accessible.
让它这
and
个
it gives
构
agency
建的
to
更
everyone.
容易的啊，做
So,
我的代语
we're going to show you what GPTs are,
什么叫做
how to use them,
GPTs 呢？
how to build them,
如
and then
何
we're going to
建
talk
构
about
呢？
how they'll be
如
distributed and
何
discovered.
分布和发现
And
呢
then？ after that, for developers, we're going to show you how to build these agent-like experiences into your own apps. So first, let's look at a few examples.
我们看看几个例子啊。
Our partners at code.org
KOG
are working hard to expand computer science in schools. They've got a curriculum that is used by tens of millions of students worldwide. Code.org crafted Lesson Planner GPT to help teachers provide a more engaging experience for middle schoolers. If a teacher asks it to explain for loops in a creative way, it does just that. In this case, it'll do it in terms of a video game character, repeatedly picking up coins. Super easy to understand for an 8th grader. As you can see, this GPT brings together Code.org's extensive curriculum and expertise and lets teachers adapt it to their needs quickly and easily. Next, Canva has built a GPT that lets you start designing by describing what you want in natural language. If you say, make a poster for a Dev Day reception this evening, and you give it some details, it'll generate a few options to start with by hitting Canva's APIs. Now, this concept may be familiar to some of you. We've evolved our plugins to be custom actions for GPTs. You can keep chatting with this to see different iterations, and when you see one you like, you can click through to Canva for the full design experience. So now, we'd like to show you a GPT live.
我们看一看一个
Zapier has built a GPT that lets you perform actions across 6,000 applications to unlock all kinds of integration possibilities. I'd like to introduce Jessica, one of our solutions architects, who is going to drive this demo. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you all.
I want to give you 5 to 25 dream clients every single day using the exact same.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Jessica Shea. I work with partners and customers to bring their product to life. And today, I can't wait to show you how hard we've been working on this. So let's get started. So to start, where your GPT will live is on this upper left corner.
左上方
I'm
的
going to start
GPT，
with
然后
clicking on
单
the
击
Zapier AI actions.
Zapier
And on the
AI
right-hand side, you can see that's my calendar for today.
右
So
边是
it's
时
quite a
间，
day.
很多内
I've
容，
already used this before, so it's actually already connected to my calendar.
这
To
连接
start,
到
I can
日历
ask,
里面。
what's on my schedule for today?
我今天
We build
要做什么
GPTs with
？GPT
security
的
in
时候要
mind.
考虑安
So
全性，
before it performs any action or share data, it will ask for your permission.
做什
So
么
right
事情
here,
要
I'm
先
going to say
允
allow.
许才能啊。
So GPT is designed to take in your instructions make the decision on which capability to call to perform that action, and then execute that for you. So you can see right here, it's already connected to my calendar. It pulls into my
所以它可以
information,
把
and then
所有
I've
日历
also
上面
prompted
的
it to
细
identify
节都
conflicts on
留
my
下来。
calendar. So you can see right here, it actually was able to identify that. So it looks like I have something coming up. So what if I want to let Sam know that I have to leave early? So right here I say, let Sam know I gotta go, chasing GPUs. So with that, I'm gonna swap to my conversation with Sam, and then I'm gonna say, yes, please run that. Sam, did you get that?
I did.
Awesome. So this is only a glimpse of what is possible, and I cannot wait to see what you all will build. Thank you, and back to you, Sam.
那这个就是说，它可以直接控制它的面板，然后还有日历，还有很多的这个信息内容，甚至直接做通讯。
In addition to these, there are many more kinds of GPTs that people are creating, and many, many more that will be created soon.
所以我们很快的就会有 GPT 的。
We know that many people who want to build a GPT don't know how to code. We've made it so that you can program the GPT.
你只要用对话就可以来做编程了，用
We believe that
自
natural
然语
language
言
is going to be a big part of how people use computers in
是
the
将
future,
来就
and
是
we think
最
this is
简
an
单的例
interesting
子。
early example. So I'd like to show you how to build one.
好，我们来试试看哈，怎么样去做一个 GPT 哈。
All right, so I want to create a GPT that helps give founders and developers advice when starting new projects.
然后给创始人和开发人员
I'm
一
going to go
个
to create a GPT here.
好，我
And
到
this
一个
drops me
new
into the GPT
GPT
builder.
的 builder 去。
I worked with founders for years at YC, and still, whenever I meet developers, the questions I get are always about how do I, think about a business idea? Can you give me some advice? I'm going to see if I can build a GPT to help with that.
那我看看可不可以
So
用这个来
to。start, GPT Builder asks me what I want to make, and I'm going to say I want to help startup founders.
然后帮助初创公司思想他们的商业的想法 ，business ideas， 然后给他们一个建议，然后得到建议之后，
grill them on why they are
问他
not
们
growing
为什么
faster.
长得不够快。
All right. So to start off, I just tell the GPT a little
然后
bit
我
about,
只是
about
告
what
诉
I want
GPT
here.
我想
And
要的
it's going to
东
go
西
off，and
他
start
去
thinking
想这
about
个
that,
事，
and it's
那
going
他
to
会
write some
写一
detailed
些
instructions
详
to
细
the
的说
GPT.
明。
It's also going to, let's see, ask me about a name. How do I feel about Startup Mentor? That's fine. That's good. So if I didn't like the name, of course I could call it something else, but it's going to try to have this conversation with me and start there. And you can see here on the right in the preview mode that it's already starting to fill out the GPT, where it says what it does. It has some ideas of
有可以
additional
其他的
questions
一
that
些
I
想
could
法，
ask.
他都有一些
And
建议的。
you know what? So it just generated a candidate. Of course, I could regenerate that or change it, but I
a
sort of
mentor.
like that. So I will say that's great. And you see now that the GPT is being built out.
然后你就看到那个 GPT 不断的
What I
成
want
长
this to
啊。
do, how it can interact with users. I
然后
can
他
talk
做
about
什么，
style
怎
here.
么样用
But
户
what I'm going to say
交通。
is I am going to upload
说我要
transcripts of
上传
some
一些
lectures
这个
about startups
文件
I
啊
have，given.
给那个初创的公司，然后用这些根据这些提出一些建议。
So now it's going to go figure out how to do that, and I would like to show you the configure tab.
好，
So
那
you
怎么
can
样
see
配置
some of the
呢？
things that were built out here as we were going by the builder itself. And you can see that there's capabilities here that I can enable.
看到了
I
他
can
用
add
到什么
custom
东西啊？
actions.
还有
These are
web
all fine to
browser，
leave.
然后
I'm going to
搭
upload
了
a file.
image
So
generator。
here is a lecture that I picked that I gave with some startup advice.
我给了一些
And
启
I'm
动
going to
的
add
建
that
议。
here. In terms of these questions, this is a dumb one. The rest of those are reasonable and very much things founders often ask. I'm going to add one more thing to the instructions here, which is be concise and constructive with feedback. All right, so
好，哈娜，你让弟兄姊妹进来。好，老师现在正在看一些东西啊。
And now we can try it out.
啊，
So
你
I
你
will
让
say,
弟兄姊妹进来就好，然后老师现在
what
是
are
在
three
录播一
things
些东
to
西。
what are 3 things to look for when hiring employees at an
好，
early stage startup?
那么今天我们这样吧，因为时间不够哈，
Now it's
老
going to
师
look at the
先看
document
到
I
这边，
uploaded.
然
It'll
后
also
我们
have, of
明
course,
天
all
再
of the
来
background
讲
knowledge of
GPT 的
GPT-4.
这个用途哈，感谢主。好，那时间就交
And
给
it's
你
pretty
们
good.
了。
Those are 3 things that I definitely have.
好，那你们就开始有一点诗歌哦。那老师其实今天一直没有什么休息啊，时间这个很晚。好，那我